for founding different associations that are focused to the development of the people of Buganda and the progress of his kingdom.
Bishop Semogere also hailed the king for his calmness and a friendly relationship with the church and the central government.
I'd like to thank him for his gentleness. The Kabaka has been so calm in guiding us and making sure that we have got good relationships between the central government and the Kingdom of Buganda.
On such occasions, initially, many would be seen clad in Chiganda attire, like kanzu tunics and women in gomeses. But in this particular mass, it's only Nakaseke Central MP Alan Mayanja Sebunya that was fully dressed in a kanzu. Sebunya wants places of worship reopened, despite the president's directive that churches reopen after 60 days.
It is a great day. It is a great day upon of Kabaka's coronation day. At the years of 28th, but we leaders, we are very, very unfortunate. The president to come up with 60 days on closure of the churches. Human rights fighters, we have to come up. We have to come up and we defend our churches, our mosques, because they are this is the very institution which can keep standard operating procedures.
Ivan Juko,
Furthermore, the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, has celebrated his 28th coronation day at Nkoni, Lwengo district. The Kabaka also advised government to solve all land wrangles legally rather than abolish Milo land tenure system. Andrew Sebira with more on the story.
The Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, has marked his 28th coronation day at an event held at Nkoni Palace in Lwengo district. The celebration started with a prayer session with different preachers appreciating the Kabaka for the developments in Uganda since he was enthroned in 1993. During the celebrations, the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, briefed the celebrants on Milo land tenure in Uganda. Kabaka Ronald Mutebi extended his sympathies to the families which have been affected by COVID-19 and appreciated efforts by universities for the medicines aimed at curbing the virus.
Saba government okwongera ku mutemwa gw'ensimbi okuyamba banna science kibasobozese okunoonyereza n'okuvumbula eddagala erinalwanyisa obulwadde buno.
His Majesty also reminded central government to fulfill the pledge of returning the remaining Buganda properties.
Ebintu Buganda ebyagijjibwako omuli enfuga eya federal, ettaka, ebizimbe omuli Bulange n'embiri z'abassekabaka baffe abagenda.
He advised government to look for other means of solving land wrangles other than abolishing the Milo land tenure.
Tetujja kukoowa n'omulundi n'ogumu okujjukiza gavumenti yaffe nti okufaanana nako n'ebitundu ebirala bya Uganda, obwakabaka bwa Buganda bulina ebintu byabyo ebitasaana kuteekebwako bukwakulizo.
The celebrations were attended by few invited guests due to the COVID-19 restrictions and was celebrated under the theme Culture and Norms, Source of Development.
Now bringing you back to the Central Business District. Shopping malls and arcades downtown Kampala have been warned not to reopen without the certificate of compliance despite the president's easing of the lockdown Friday evening. The Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Hajat Minsa Kabanda, says that malls and arcades must be approved by KCCA authorities after putting in place standard operating procedures. Now this means the reopening of the shopping malls and arcades in Kampala commonly might be delayed until all SOPs are adhered to.
After 42 days of lockdown, Kampala streets have once again been lively. But for those operating businesses in downtown Kampala might have to wait for some time as Kampala Capital City Authority and arcade owners put in place measures aimed at
will only open when a compliance certificate has been issued. And when we mention of Chikubo, we are not meaning Chikubo, but we are saying all the business centers in Chikubo, including Nabugabo Road, Noum Street, Beni Chiwanka, those malls around the Mukwano Mall, and other roads which are also learning, can only operate when we satisfy ourselves by all the SOPs and the compliance levels put in place.
Accordingly, those who may reopen before putting in place these measures face arrest over failure to comply.
So on the 2nd, that is Monday, please don't come to Chikubo. I don't want limitations with our enforcement team. We shall come back here and inform you when everything will be ready. But nevertheless, it will not take more than 5 days, if and only if we cooperate.
While easing the lockdown on Friday, President Yoweri Museveni instructed KCCA ministers and officials to ensure compliance to SOPs.
So as a mother, as a leader, I think we should be cautioned to all our neighbors. You talk to your neighbor, why don't you put on a mask? Why don't you comply for this? Why don't you wash your hands? Because we always see people. As we are moving, you tell someone to put on a mask, it's as if it's a crime. So let's all comply with what they are telling us. Like my colleague has said, we don't intend to beat people. We don't intend to make you suffer. But if you don't comply, then the police will be forced to do what it's not supposed to do.
Public transport is one of the sectors allowed to operate, but with strict adherence to SOPs at bus terminals and taxis before starting to operate on Monday.
All associations of public transport operators, including the bus associations, tax associations, the border associations, and those inland water transport, as well as management of terminals, parks, landing sites, and railway stations, to foster self-regulation and to ensure strict adherence to these standard operating procedures and the directives of His Excellency the President by your members.
The Minister for ICT, Dr. Chris Bariomsi, at Uganda Media Center appealed to the public to comply with the new directives to avoid further spread of COVID-19.
All of us to take all these measures in good faith. They are intended to ensure that all of us live to see tomorrow. And we also want to say, let us do self-policing. Don't wait for security people, for the RCC to deploy security to alert you to put on a mask. Let's know that putting on a mask is a duty. Whether somebody is seeing me or not, I have a responsibility to wear this mask when I am in public. And many other measures as we know them.
Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
Now taking you to the location in question, Kampala Central Business District has this Saturday registered a big number, and after President Yoweri Museveni partially eased the lockdown on Friday evening, most business owners swamped shopping malls and Chikubo Business Center to buy merchandise, ostensibly to replenish their businesses. Saddam Obale with more on this story.
During his Friday evening address, President Yoweri Museveni partially eased the 42-day lockdown, with a number of sectors allowed to operate, but with strict observance to standard operating procedures. Kampala Central Business District was for the most of the day a beehive of activity, with most roads that enter the city busier than has been the case in the last 42 days. Boda riders were among the happiest over the easing of the 42-day lockdown.
In the city, yesterday, I clapped my hand and my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said that I'm just very happy about how this thing has happened to me. Because in these 42 days, it was like, I don't know, this fighting, like you're fighting with the Golola.
Naye muzeeyi bwe yagambye nti nababodaboda tudde tutika omuntu era ne wano ndeesewo omuntu ne ndaba nga obulamu bwange bulinganga ekimera ekifukiriddwa amazzi oba ekifunye enkuba.
Being the first day of the partial reopening, most shops, business premises are yet to open, but the city is beaming with anxious people.
Naye twali tuzze okujja lukedde tuzze tukole naye ab'oluguudo batulemesezza. Batugamba bagenda kuggulawo Lwakubiri.
Bwe yayogedde eggulo ku Lwokutaano ekiro abantu tebaali bakkiriza kujja wano mu kikuubo leero ku Lwomukaaga ne ku Sande. Yali badde abagamba nti mujje ku manga bamaze okweteekateeka bamaze okukola ebintu ebirungi.
Naye nga embeera okusinziira we tubadde tugisuubira tennaba kubeera nkyamufu okusinziira nga ekibadde mabega nekibadde tusuubira okubeerawo olwaleero.
Kale olwaleero tulwesonyiye ennaku nga bbiri katubawe chance naffe twagala kirungi nti abaguzi baffe baali badduka lwa kkubo nti muntu bw'ofubutuka okuva wali okujja wano oba Kampala Road wali oba mu kyalo.
However, according to Ashwin Kiran, a businessman in Kampala, the 7 p.m. curfew may not be practical and requests the government for an extension up to at least 9 p.m.
I think all the measures he took are quite wise, except my only concern is that opening up the public transport and private vehicles on the roads. The 7 o'clock curfew starting time might not serve the purpose, because there will be a lot of traffic jams. People will leave offices early, and so there will be a lot of traffic jams, and people might not be able to make it. So I think had he made it to something like 9 o'clock, that would have been more practical and more realistic.
This being the first day of the partial reopening of the lockdown, most businesses, to be specific, here in downtown Kampala have remained closed, but with the reasonable number of people turning up in the city. Saddam Mubale, Joel Vubia, UBC News, Kampala.
Thank you very much, Saddam. I also like the fact that for every shot you see in Kampala, at least everyone is wearing a mask, and we applaud you for that. Please keep it up. Now, taking you to northern Uganda, the Bishop for South Karamoja Diocese, the Right Reverend Abura Joseph, has called for compulsory education in Karamoja sub-region. Bishop Abura says education is a vital tool to ending insecurity in Karamoja sub-region. These are the details.
The Karamojong are nomadic agro-pastoralists consisting of numerous tribes and clans with a rich cultural heritage. They are known for their love of livestock, mainly cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and donkeys. They have unique traditional wear that include colorful beads, iconic blankets, and have unique traditional dances. The Karamojong are grouped by clans and by territorial subgroups, which are the Bakora, the Pian, and the Matheniko, subdivided into the Jie, Tepeth, Kadam, Ik, Dodoth, Pokot, Labgol, Mening, and Nyangai.
We have got several clans in Karamoja: the Upe, the Pian, the Bakora, the Matheniko, the Dodoth, and Karanga. It depends.
There are about 1.2 million Karamojong living in the districts of Kabong, Kalenga, Abim, Kotido, Moroto, Amudat, Napak, and Nakapiripirit, bordering South Sudan and Kenya. Due to decades of isolation and their strong beliefs, the Karamojong have been able to maintain their ancestral cultural heritage with the cultural customs dating back to several years. Karamoja is a world apart in terms of culture and land image as cattle rustlers.
Put ourselves in groups, such that if a larger number of enemies come, we have got to help ourselves in a larger number. And then we put our cows there purposely, because it is better to be in a group, communal defense. We have a communal defense against the external attack.
During the 1970s, there was an increase in violence in the region, mostly due to an increase in the supply of weaponry, especially guns. Government has, however, disarmed the Karamojong in a bid to restore peace to the region and civil stability. The Karamojong value a man according to how many cattle he has and believe that all the cattle were given to them by their god, Akuch, and that all the cattle of the neighboring tribes are theirs. Routinely, men go out to find pasture and water for their livestock, while the women stay back in the manyatas to take care of the homestead and the children, and both tend gardens to supplement their diet. In Karamoja, things are done together and for the good of the entire community, not just a nuclear family or an individual. Men can take as many wives as they want as long as they have the ability to pay dowry, which is taken seriously in the area.
But a minimum, at most, according to them, it must be at most 15. Together with the goats inside, together with the donkeys inside also.
Like now, if you see the beautiful girl, you just go to the home of their parents. You say, I want that girl. You just talk there and talk there. They can tell you they have 60 cows, they have 40 cows in order to give you a girl.
So long as somebody is disciplined and active, but not a thief. And also, as here, when somebody is coming for your daughter, you make sure you see what type of family is that person coming from.
Their communities follow the guidelines of the elders, and things are done according to democratic lines.
If that person who has caused a problem say that, oh, I've done this, yes, they tell him that, okay, you go. There is a part of the animal. They get that one, then they get a sphere. They said, okay, my friend, as you have done this, as you have now recognized now, you cannot do again.
We sit, almost all the clans within the area sit there and you decide what's happened, what was supposed to be done.
Families are in enclosures with manyatas uniquely only to be found in Karamoja, and everything from the structure of the homesteads to the people and the language all give a sense of community belonging. However, a visit to the manyatas is not complete without music and dance. The Karamojong live in complete harmony with nature, and they are usually half-dressed and are decorated with the tribal markings. The weather and nature in Karamoja is harsh, but the people are able to dwell there and amicably live with it.
And if God said, that's it that I gave you, I say thank you, God.
Government is, however, putting a lot of effort in improving the area's infrastructure. Electricity has been extended to the region. There are tarmac roads, and schools are being built in great numbers across all districts in the region. Rumana Deo, reporting for UBC News.
Well, I took a visit sometime early this year to Karamoja, and I got to find out that actually primary school enrollment is almost directly related to the availability of food in these schools, and also it has got a lot to do with the culture of the Karamojong. Well, we do hope that education can really penetrate in Karamoja. Let's take a quick short break, and when we return, we'll be back with sports news.
Wait, Abu, and what are you doing throwing papers all over the place?
I'm looking for an invoice for a sound system and cables that I received yesterday, but I can't find it.
You know there is a way of keeping all this in one place and available to you as and when you need it.
I really wish there was one, because the way these invoices grow legs and disappear.
I believe this is what you're looking for.
Now how did you...
Tabo! Do you know that with EFRIS, you can stay on track of all your business transactions and improve on your record keeping?
How so?
Katituliku computer with EFRIS. I just search using the fiscal document number and I retrieve the records I'm looking for. Bookkeeping becomes simple after that.
Kapo, awesome, yeah.
I began using URS Kakasa Solutions and now I'm in charge of my business. And you can as well.
Kakasa, be sure you are in charge of your business.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go. MTN.
Kijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, or rather only YouTube. And we now give you the sports news. Now, motor-mouthed kickboxer Moses Golola has returned home after a fierce fight in Juba, South Sudan. Golola was outclassed by James Majok in a packed arena. Golola lost his ground twice but claims he yearns for a rematch in an organized contest. These are the details.
I was landed here. I'm from Southern Sudan. It was a fight. This is what they call a zigzag fight. You know, they sent me an invitation to fight as a K1 champion to promote Southern Sudan and also to get some money to support Gola Talent Foundation. When I reached there, they gave me a contract of MMA. I told the man, even if you bring this Mazinaga Anchima, I will dance it. Because why? I need money. And he told me, no, this fight, we are not challenging your title. No, we just want an exhibition. And I told them, it's okay. But that was an exhibition of Majok. Also me, I want to bring Majok in Uganda for an exhibition. Because this was like home and away. I was there home, so I want to bring him. Be ready. We are going to start making tournaments. We are going to start doing, because we have a belief that there is an opportunity to go and train physical fitness in school. Here in Uganda, we have a challenge that we don't have any institute which teaches physical education. I've been telling you that at Gola Talent Academy, we want to see how we can teach the athletes more of the sports education so that they can go and teach in schools. We want to see how we give instructors in NGOs, in camps, and everywhere, because life is about being fit. Now we have a system whereby you go in your phone and you place star 210 star 11 star 4 hash. When you put in that message, it will bring you a message telling you thank you to support Gola Talent Foundation. It will ask you for the PIN code. Put in the PIN code number. It will deduct 1,000. That 1,000 is going to do a lot. Actually, if you people start sending 1,000, I'm not going to fight again.
sometimes at the back of what he says actually makes so much sense. Physical education, something quite to think about. Now, Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo have been crowned 10,000 meters silver and bronze medalists at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. The two and Oscar Chelimo will return to action in 5,000 meters heats that are scheduled for Tuesday next week. Qualification will ascend any to Friday's final. Meanwhile, Uganda's chances of winning any of the women's 800 meters have ended after failure by either Halima Nakai or Winnie Nanyondo in the semi-final heat. Nakai finished bottom in her heat, while Nanyondo, despite getting herself a personal best, couldn't eclipse any of the top aim at the 1,500 meters. Action for Uganda's at this 32nd Olympiad continues on Sunday, with Peruth Chemtai starting us off in the women's 3,000 meters steeplechase. Brings us to the end of our News Tonight edition of 8 o'clock. Join us later on at 10 p.m. for a lengthier bulletin. My name is WADULO Mark Arnold Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. Up next is the weekly business roundup.